Here we go. You want to go first for a sec?
Like the Beach Boys, like how can you you could basically put any song by the Beach Boys and it would probably be suitable for what we're talking about.
Literally, like anything prior to Pet Sounds. I mean, not saying Pet Sounds is not summer, but like in general, like the Beach Boys. When you think of summer fun, you think of like I think of the Beach Boys personally.
like that song, like the songs that you hear, here are the ones like, that song is basically that 1960s beach type music,
Yeah, exactly.
that 1960s beach type music. And here are the ones that I think of.
What do you got?
California Girls,
Yes.
not the Katy Perry song.
No, no, that one's good too, but
No
not
offense to
crazy.
Katy Perry, we still like you.
Yep.
But no, California Girls. I wish they all could be California. I wish
Yes.
they all could be California girls. Um, but that's you kind of think about like being on the beach. You kind of think about being on the beach. You think of,
Yeah.
you think of being on the beach. You think of girls walking around in their bikinis when you
Yeah.
hear that song.
Exactly.
You have that, it's that West Coast song, and it gives, transition to the next song, it gives off some good vibrations.
Yes, peeps. My second favorite song.
No, not the good vibrations. It's just a sweet sensation. Not that one. Even though that is a pretty good song, I still like you, Marky Mark. That is a good song. I will admit that, but that's not what we're
Mark
talking
Wahlberg,
about.
you're great. You can reach us at 1-800.
Got Bill.
Yes, but anyways,
it's not about that time for the rhythm of the rhyme, so it's not that good vibrations. So anyway, yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, but good vibe. But you know what? Because they still have that like California like beach vibe. That song that I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me the incitations. Like it has that same vibe that California Girls does.
yeah.
It does. It does have that same vibe that California Girls does.
I mean, we could talk about so many of their songs. I mean, how could we forget? Like, there's like one of their biggest hits was "Surfing USA." I mean, come on.
Absolutely.
I mean, I look. Sir, it's funny. One of the great things I love about the Beach Boys personally is that their songs, you could put on one of their earliest songs from like 1962 or three, even like whatever point in their career, and they still sound fresh. What I mean by fresh is they could you could put on that any of their songs from the 60s today and they still sound very good quality wise because they cut them fresh, and in 200 years from now you could listen to a Beach Boys song or a song, any song from that time period, and it still sounds just as fresh. Whereas compared to a lot of music today, it's very computerized, it's very mass produced, and it only sounds like today. It doesn't sound like it doesn't. And it couldn't come out in the 80s or whatever. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things I love about the Beach Boys, is that they are timeless.
They are
So,
absolutely timeless. Some other two songs that I think about, oh, three songs, sorry. Fun, Fun, Fun.
of course.
Because, the three things that the Beach Boys are about: cars, surfing, and girls.
Yes. Amen.
And that's a song that you could probably have a little joyride to. Fun, fun, fun. Now that daddy took the T-bird away. Fun, fun, fun.
I mean,
But,
whenever I think of summertime, the first thing whenever summertime hits, I think of the Beach Boys. One without a doubt, and then I go from there.
and two other songs I think of. One is okay. This is actually not written by the Beach Boys, but it was actually off Pet Sounds.
Okay.
The song "Sloop John B."
Yeah, Sloop John B, baby. Let's talk about it.
That song was actually a traditional was actually from the Bahamas, and that song was about a boat on its maiden voyage.
Yeah.
I guess it wasn't a great trip because that line, the
Oh yeah, I feel so.
this is the worst trip
Yep.
I've ever been on.
That's funny. Yeah,
It sounds like a. It sounds like a. It sounds like a Yelp review.
yeah. It really does.
The
actually.
first mate, he got drunk on the captain's hump. The constable had to come and take him away. Like, it sounds like a Yelp review.
It really, truly does. It's crazy.
1 star, I won't recommend.
No, don't recommend that trip to the Bahamas.
Sloop John B, 1 star, won't recommend. I just told that joke. Shout out to my buddy Spencer Jackson. He was talking about the song Hotel California. One point, it sounds like a 6-minute Yelp review.
It really does. You're right.
And this song is basically a 2-3 minute Yelp review. Be like, let's see. I went on the Sloop John B, my grandfather and me, drinking all night. They got into a fight. I want to go home. So hoist up the Sloop John B, my grandfather and me. And then Sheriff Johnstone, why don't you leave me alone? The first mate, he got drunk, entered the captain's home. The constable had to come and take him away. This is the worst trip I've ever been on. 1 star, don't recommend.
It really is a Yelp review. You're right.
The song is really a Yelp review. Yeah, but okay, and another one that really makes you think of something. This is actually probably my number 1 or number 2 favorite Beach Boys song, and I think it's very underrated.
Which one?
It's called "Don't Worry, Baby."
Oh, it's one of their best. Are you kidding me? I love that one.
Don't worry, baby. Like, I could just hear that song, driving down the coast.
Yeah.
With a pretty girl next to you.
Yep.
With a pretty girl next to you, and that song just playing on the radio.
Yeah, I mean,
it's sun setting.
It paints a good picture in your head.
It paints a picture of you with a pretty girl sitting next to you, just driving down the coast when the sun's setting.
Yeah.
That's what really makes you think of summer. Like, if you think of summer and don't think of the Beach Boys, something is deeply wrong with you.
Yep, I agree.
Like, you know what? I have an interesting thought. Do you think the Beach Boys are basically like the American Beatles?
Well, I would say so.
Interesting.
I mean, because they came out a year before they had debuted in the Ed Sullivan Show. They came out on their first album was about a year and a half before the first Beatles performance on the Ed Sullivan Show was. I don't know if you knew that. So the thing was, like, the harmonies of the Beatles, like, they were probably influenced by the Beach Boys. There's like a whole thing about that. So just interesting.
And remember, don't fuck with the formula.
Yes. That's funny you say that, because it's can I talk about that for a sec?
Yeah.
Mike Love said something to Brian. He said, "Don't F with the formula," because the formula was make hit songs, right? Because Brian Wilson was the experimental genius that he was for the Beach Boys, and he made all this incredible.
There was actually a YouTube video called "Brian Wilson is a Genius."
I have seen that video. If you want to get, if anyone's out there listening to this, if you want to get to know the Beach Boys more in depth, there's a YouTuber I really like called Jeffrey Stillwell. He's actually a really good Beach Boys. It's his favorite band of all time. And he has seen Brian Wilson like 3 or 4 times live. He's in his 20s, but he said something about like Pet Sounds, and their story is just fascinating to him, so he loves them. But yeah, so if you want to get to know the Beach Boys and Brian Wilson material better, I recommend checking out Jeffrey Stillwell on YouTube. He does a lot of Beach Boys content on his YouTube channel. He's talking about them a lot. There's YouTube playlists about just Beach Boys videos and news and whatnot, so you can check those out too. Check that if you want. But yeah, the Beach Boys are a timeless group, and the people who don't know about them, get on it. They're one of the greatest groups of all time.
Agreed.
They're one of the best, and they still tour at the age of 80. Like, yes, Dennis is dead. Yes, Carl is dead. Brian Wilson and Al Jardine and Blondie Chaplin are touring this summer across the U.S. With Chicago, the band Chicago. They're touring, and I have a ticket to go see them later this summer. I'm so excited to see both the Brian Wilson band again. And I just saw the Beach Boys with Mike Love and Bruce Johnson, and that Beach Boys band in April, truthfully, and I had a blast. The fact that these guys are still touring everywhere they go and they still sell concert tickets, it's insane that they're like 80. It's crazy.
I wonder if we're ever going to get like another reunion with all of them together again. But
we had a reunion, and 10 years ago. In 2012, we had a reunion. But as far as like this summer, I don't think it's gonna happen this summer. I mean, they're promoting it as like this is like their 60th anniversary tour of them touring and being a band. I just don't think Brian Wilson has any interest in going back together with them.
Well, because I think Brian Wilson and Mike Love don't like each other. So
and what's funny is that they're cousins.
No, because I have seen an interview with Brian Wilson saying I don't like Mike Love at all.
Oh yeah, I've seen that same video, and I'm like, why? He's your cousin. And
well, Mike Love can be a bit okay. You remember my buddy Vinny? You met him when we went to the Who concert. Remember my buddy Vinny?
Yes.
He said, Vinny, if you were watching, shout out to you.
Yes, shout out to Vinny.
Yeah, but he has said that Brian Wilson, I mean not Brian Wilson, Mike Love is the enemy of the Beach Boys more than Charlie Manson and Eugene Landy.
Oh my God! Wow, yeah, that's.
For those of you who don't know Charlie Manson, look it up. Those of you who don't know who Eugene Landy is, here's the Cliff Notes version.
Cliff Notes.
Eugene Landy was like a psychiatrist, or
he was a psychiatrist known to work with a lot of celebrities.
He was sent to work with Brian Wilson when he started dealing with some mental health things, and he basically was taking advantage of him and said, "You're gonna have to give me more money. You're gonna have to give me more money. You're gonna have to give me more money." And Eugene Landy basically tried to. I actually heard like this was depicted. Have you seen the movie? What is it? Love and Mercy.
I have not. I mean, I got to get on that.
Like there was a scene. I don't know if this was real, this was fabricated, but there was a scene that Eugene Landy basically altered Brian Wilson's will.
Wow.
And because he was putting him on so many drugs that would probably eventually kill him, and that Eugene Landy would get like 85% of his money.
That's so sad.
Yeah. So anyway, according to my friend Vinny, Mike Love is a bigger villain of the Beach Boys than a freaking serial killer, Charlie Manson, and a psycho and a literal mad doctor, Eugene Landy.
It's actually funny. Someone I read. I don't know. I sometimes just as a plug for what I do. Sometimes I was watching a YouTube video once, and people were like, someone commented on the video. I think it was the Brian Wilson hates Mike Love video, believe it or not. And they're like, we're gonna move on in a second to other songs and other artists, but like. One more thing I was gonna say. I read the comment. The comment said, "I was at a Beach Boys concert once, and someone told Mike Love to shut up."
Ooh,
that you got. Look, to tell your performer, your entertainer to shut up. That takes guts.
Yeah, because from what I heard Mike Love is like a total douchebag.
I've heard that as well, but I mean. He's definitely a creep, but he's just, I don't know. I still wanted to go see him again because it's their 60th anniversary tour. I was really excited to see them.
Go again. Watch. You know, have you ever heard of Todd in the Shadows?
No, what's that?
He does a lot of pop song reviews, and he has this thing called Train Records.
Okay.
And he did one about Beach Boys. I think it was like Sounds of Summer or something like that, or Summer in Paradise.
Oh yeah,
their worst album.
Yeah,
and go watch it. And he goes, "I'm a ladies' man. Life in prison as a ladies' man." Video of and then Brian Wilson. I don't like Mike Love at all.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, go watch that video though. It's very interesting.
it is.
But yeah. Oh, you know what other song makes me think of summer before we go on to other artists?
Which one?
Kokomo.
How could we not talk about Kokomo?
We have to talk about Kokomo, don't we?
Kokomo, you have to understand, guys. I went through a Kokomo phase. It's really pathetic.
Jamaica, Aruba. Oh, I wanna take it to Bermuda.
It's such an addicting song. Like and this was their last number one hit in 1988. So in the midst of like hair metal in the late 80s, the Beach Boys had a number one hit song with Kokomo. It's crazy. So, and I love this. The memes for Kokomo are really funny. I love Kokomo. It's a great song. It was fantastic. You hear it on like adult contemporary radio and whatnot too, but it's really a solid song in general. Mike Love wrote the chorus. That like da 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 da. You know, he wrote that out. It's like an earworm.
Oh, I wanna take it to
Bermuda, Bahama, come on, pretty much. Yeah, so whatever. But it was very interesting to actually like, it's a phenomenal song. Kokomo. For those of you who know what Kokomo is, it's great, and I'm gonna go there one day, Bill.
You going there?
True. Full disclosure, for anyone who's just keeping track at home, Kokomo is a real place, not in the Florida Keys, because the song says it's out off in the Florida Keys, but it turns out Kokomo is actually a real place off the Fiji Islands in Australia.
Fiji Islands.
So, and guess what, Bill? Mark my words, Bill.
You got me.
I will go there one day and play Kokomo in Kokomo. Well, I will do it one day. So I got this.
Where is it again?
It's off the. It's not off of It's not off of the Florida Keys because there's no island called Kokomo, right? But it's about the real Kokomo is in the Fiji Islands. It's a real place. I looked it up. That's how determined I was.
Wow, you were really determined.
I'm a Kokomo addict, Bill. It's really sad.
Because didn't you say like last year you were like book my flight to Kokomo?
Yes, I was making the joke saying I'm gonna fly to Kokomo for the summer. It was great.
Yeah, I don't think it should be off the Florida Keys. You know why? It's Florida. No, no offense if we have any listeners in the great state of Florida. We sure you're lovely folk.
Thank
Florida,
you,
we still love you. Depends on what day it is, but Florida.
You guys are
okay,
great.
I'm gonna be banned from the state of Florida now, aren't I?
At some point. Anyways, but the Beach Boys, long story short, Beach Boys are a phenomenal group. Check them out if you have not checked out their summer music. They just released like a box set of like the sounds of summer, whatever it's called.
Yeah. You know, we just talked about the Beach Boys for like over 20 minutes.
Did we really?
Yeah, we just talked about the Beach Boys for like 20 minutes.
Yes, plug for our mixed bag segment. There's gonna be a Beach Boys mixed
You know what?
segment.
That's the show, folks. Bill and JT talk about the Beach Boys. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Have a good day. So, anyways, let's talk for a second. All right, so the Beach Boys of the bottom stroke, fantastic summer group. If you've not streamed the Beach Boys, stream the Beach Boys.
Or you have no taste in music.
Damn right, Bill.
Am I right, JT?
You're right. No doubt.
God bless. But no, you don't.